Welcome back to the Pump YouTube channel. As part of our Everything You Need to Know Before Med School series, we are honored to assist future medical professionals in gaining the insights they need when selecting programs and charting the optimal path for their medical careers. In this video, we're focusing on McGill University's MD program, a world-renowned institution known for its excellence in medical education, research, and clinical training, all located in one of Canada's most exciting and multicultural cities, Montreal, Quebec. McGill's MD program is highly competitive.
I think sometimes in the life I'm too competitive, it's good to be competitive.
During the fall 2024 application season, the MD program admitted just under 250 students. Out of 2,639 applicants, 853 were able to get interviews and 249 were accepted. This translates to a 32.3% chance to secure an interview and a 9.4% chance for acceptance. Most of the population of admitted students came from Quebec, 235 out of 249, making 94.38% of the population Quebec residents. Stats-wise, it is unlikely that a student coming from outside of Quebec will be admitted. In terms of grades, the fall 2024 application season saw an undergraduate average GPA of 3.88, with the average age of admission being 25. In terms of the general requirements, candidates previously enrolled in postgraduate medical education in Quebec, other Canadian provinces, or the United States are not eligible for admission into the program. Additionally, candidates holding a completed undergraduate medical degree from an institution in Quebec, other Canadian provinces, or the United States are not eligible for admission into the program. The basic science prerequisites include, but are not limited to, 2 biology courses, 2 chemistry courses, 2 physics courses, and 1 organic chemistry course. To apply to McGill's program, most candidates need to have completed a 120 credit bachelor's degree from an accredited institution, or a 4-year degree. Otherwise, a 90 credit program from a Quebec university would suffice if they previously completed a DEC. A minimum of 60 consecutive graded credits is expected by the time of application. Degrees must meet McGill's residency requirements, meaning at least 50% of credits must be completed at the granting institution. Competitive applicants typically have a GPA above 3.8. Those below 3.4 are rarely considered. For Quebec Cégep applicants, an R score above 34 is expected, with an average closer to 35.2. A full course load and timely program completion are standard expectations, though part-time or extended study cases are reviewed individually. Second degrees are accepted as a basis for admission, provided at least 45 graded credits are completed by the application deadline and the remaining credits by July 31st before matriculation. Informal learning or credit transfers not based on academic coursework must not exceed 10% of total degree credits. GPA is another key factor. McGill calculates an adjusted GPA, or an AGPA, that gives weight to more recent coursework, favoring upward trends. For Quebec residents, a competitive AGPA is usually 3.8 or higher. Out-of-province and international applicants should aim closer to a 3.9 or above to stay competitive. The MCAT is not required for Quebec residents, but it is mandatory for out-of-province and international applicants. While McGill doesn't list a hard cutoff, competitive applicants typically score at least 508 overall, with individual section scores of 127 or higher. In addition to academic scores, all applicants are required to complete the Casper test, a situational judgment test designed to evaluate interpersonal, ethical, and problem-solving skills. Though McGill doesn't publish minimum Casper scores, it's an important part of the holistic file review. Alongside proof of Canadian citizenship, transcripts, test results, and proof of language proficiency, letters of reference are also greatly appreciated and contribute significantly to your application. To reach the interview stage at McGill, applicants first undergo a rigorous pre-screening based on both academic performance and non-academic components, like the Casper test and the CV supporting document. Only the top 4 to 6 times the number of intended interviewees in each applicant category move forward to the next stage. So, if 50 interviews are planned, 200 to 300 applications are reviewed in depth. Those selected are invited to an in-person multiple mini-interview, or MMI, at McGill's Faculty of Medicine. The MMI consists of several short stations focused on scenarios, simulations, or ethical discussions that reflect the CanMed's physician competencies, a framework developed in Canada to define the competencies required of physicians, focusing on improving patient care through enhanced training. These stations do not test clinical knowledge, but assess qualities like communication, empathy, and judgment. Applicants must choose to be interviewed in either English or French and must attend the interview in person. No makeup sessions are allowed. In addition to the interview itself, the day includes presentations and activities to give candidates a deeper look at McGill's program. Missing the scheduled interview, for any reason, disqualifies a candidate from further consideration. The campus preference can either be in Montreal or Ottawa and is submitted only after the interview, and offers of admission are specific to the assigned campus. Next, let's talk about tuition and finances. As of the 2025-26 academic year, tuition varies significantly based on your residency status. Quebec residents pay approximately $9,352.03 Canadian per year. Out-of-province Canadians pay around $36,278.86 Canadian, and international students face tuition of about $73,295.02 Canadian annually. But tuition isn't the whole picture. Other costs, including textbooks, clinical supplies, housing, food, and transportation, add another $15,000 to $20,000 per year. Thankfully, McGill offers a comprehensive financial aid system, including bursaries, entrance scholarships, and access to provincial or federal loan programs. Compared to cities like Toronto or Vancouver, living in Montreal is significantly more affordable, especially if you're living with roommates or in university subsidized housing. So, what does the program actually look like once you're in? McGill's MD program is a 4-year competency-based curriculum built around the CanMEDS framework. Year 1 is called the Fundamentals of Medicine and Dentistry, or FMD. This phase includes basic science courses like anatomy, physiology, pharmacology, and pathology, as well as small group learning sessions and the longitudinal family medicine experience, which provides early clinical exposure. Year 2, known as a transition to clinical practice, builds on this foundation with increased clinical immersion through hospital visits, patient interviews, and hands-on simulation. Year 3 is core clerkship. This is where students dive into full-time hospital-based training across major specialties including internal medicine, surgery, pediatrics, psychiatry, family medicine, and emergency medicine. You will learn under the supervision of experienced clinicians. Finally, Year 4 is all about preparing for a residency. Students complete 12 weeks of electives, finalize their CARMS applications, and participate into the Transition to Residency course to prepare for postgraduate life. Across all 4 years, students have the opportunity to engage in global health work, community service learning, and medical research.
We'll be diving into the McMaster's University School of Medicine. McMaster's MD program is a 3-year program designed to equip students with necessary skills and flexibility to pursue any specialty within medicine. The medical school operates across 3 locations: the main campus in Hamilton, the Niagara Region campus, and the Waterloo Regional campus. Now that you have a better picture of McMaster University and its MD program, let's dive deeper into their admission stats. For the class of 2027, McMaster School of Medicine received a competitive 5,284 applications. Out of those, 569 applicants were invited to the multiple mini-interview. From that group, 221 students received offers of admission. Each year, McMaster admits approximately 217 students, distributed as 153 to the Hamilton campus and 32 to the Niagara and Waterloo regional campuses each. 93.2% of the class was from Ontario, while 6.8% came from other Canadian provinces. Important to notice that no international students were admitted. When it comes to academic performance, the average GPA was a 3.92, even though the minimum required GPA to apply is a 3.0. For the MCAT, McMaster only considers the CARS section. The average CARS score is a 129, with about 15.4% of students scoring a 132, the highest possible mark. At the time of admission, nearly 60% of students were still in the process of completing their bachelor's degree, while only 22% had already finished one. Around 12% were pursuing a master's and 6% had already completed a master's program. A very small portion, just under 1%, had begun a PhD but had not completed it. There are 4 absolute requirements to be eligible for McMaster's UGME program. First, students must complete at least 3 years of undergraduate study by May of the year of entry. This means completing 30 half-year courses or 15 full-year courses. McMaster encourages diversity, so there's no prerequisite courses or preferred degrees. Second, the minimum GPA required is a 3.0 on the OMSAS 4.0 scale. Unlike many other schools, McMaster uses a cumulative GPA from all undergraduate courses taken. No weighting is applied and no grades can be eliminated from the calculation. Graduate courses, college diplomas, and international exchange credits from outside Canada or the US are excluded from the GPA calculation. Third, McMaster only considers the CARS section of the MCAT, and applicants must score a minimum of 123 in that section. Scores from other MCAT sections are not used. The MCAT must be written within 5 years of the application year, and results must be released to OMSAS. Fourth, applicants must complete the Casper test, a situational judgment test consisting of 11 scenarios that assess interpersonal skills and professionalism. The test includes both typed and video response sections and takes between 65 to 85 minutes to complete. In addition to those 4 requirements, applicants must submit 3 references, 1 academic or work-related, 1 non-academic, and 1 of their choosing. Referees must not be family members or close friends, and each complete a confidential assessment form about your potential as a physician. Applicants also need to provide transcripts from all post-secondary institutions attended. Ontario University transcripts are requested through OMSAS, while transcripts from out-of-province or international institutions must be submitted directly to OMSAS by the schools themselves. The final step in McMaster's admissions process is the multiple mini-interview, or MMI. This interview format was actually developed at McMaster and is now used around the world to assess applicants more fairly and reliably. This format consists of 8 short interview stations, each designed to evaluate different attributes essential for success in medicine. These include compassion, empathy, honesty, ethical decision-making, time management, teamwork, and the ability to tolerate stress. The MMI is less about medical knowledge and more about your personal values and soft skills. To prepare, you should become familiar with the MMI format, reflect on your personal experiences, and practice your communication skills. Recording yourself and getting better feedback from others can also be a valuable way to improve. Now that we've discussed academics, let's take a look at tuition. According to McMaster's financial resources, the annual tuition for domestic students in the MD program is approximately $25,130. This tuition is consistent across all 3 years of the program. Students are also expected to pay for books, supplies, equipment, transportation, and living expenses, which can vary on campus location. To help offset these costs, McMaster offers a variety of financial aid options, including internal scholarships, need-based bursaries, and funding through the Ontario Student Assistance Program, OSAP. Financial aid is available to both incoming and returning students throughout the program. McMaster's MD program is unique in Canada because it's a 3-year program with no summer breaks. This accelerated structure is divided into preclinical and clinical phases, beginning with early patient exposure and focus on self-directed learning. The preclinical phase, also known as medical foundations, lasts about 15 months and is broken down into 15 sequential blocks, MF1 through MF4, plus an integrational foundation. These are delivered through problem-based learning tutorials in small groups, where students analyze clinical cases to guide their study and research. Alongside PBL, students attend clinical skill sessions once per week with preceptors and anatomy labs that use models, specimens, and imaging studies. These sessions are designed to build physical exam techniques and familiarity with human systems early in the program. Following this, in the 63-week clerkship phase, which begins with the 3-week transitions to clerkship and continues into a 44-week clerkship foundations, students rotate through core specialties such as medicine, surgery, OBGYN, psychiatry, pediatrics, family medicine, emergency medicine, anesthesia, and orthopedics. During this time, students also complete 12-week electives. The final part of clerkship is the 16-week transition to residency, which includes 6 2-week rotations and additional elective time to help students prepare for residency interviews and future training. Just before graduation, students enter the Concept Integration and Review block, a 5-week capstone course to help them consolidate their learning and prepare for the MCCQE Part 1 licensing exam. McMaster's professional competencies curriculum runs across all 3 years and covers topics like effective communication, ethics, collaboration, population health, and professionalism in medicine. We'll be focusing on Queen's University's MD program. The School of Medicine at Queen's offers a 4-year program that leads to the Doctor of Medicine degree. Students are selected not only for their strong academic performance, but also for their personal qualities that will help them thrive as a passionate, skilled, and lifelong learners in medicine. The program's goal is to graduate physicians with a broad understanding of science and the human side of healthcare, while also preparing them to pursue any postgraduate training they choose. A key part of Queen's admission philosophy is a commitment to equity, diversity, inclusion, indigeneity, and accessibility, which serves as guiding principles throughout the admission process. The program is primarily delivered at the Kingston campus, though Queen's also has a site at Lakeridge Health for students focusing on family medicine. Clerkship training is regionally based, meaning that every student will spend 1/3 to 3/4 of their rotation outside of Kingston. Now that you have a sense of what the program looks like, let's dive into the admission stats. For the class of 2027, Queen's received a total of 5,131 applications. Out of this pool, 638 applicants were invited to interviews, and the final incoming class included 139 students. Each year, the School of Medicine admits up to 140 Canadian citizens or permanent residents, with 114 seats located at the Kingston campus and 20 seats offered at the Queen's Lakeridge Health site for this family medicine stream. The average age of students in the class of 2027 was 24, with ages ranging from 19 to 41. In terms of educational background, 63% of students entered with an undergraduate degree, 35% had complete a master's degree, and 2% held a PhD. Geographically, most students came from Ontario, at 77%, while 17% from Western provinces and territories, and 6% from Quebec and Eastern provinces. Applicants to Queen's MD program must be Canadian citizens or permanent residents by the application deadline. Unlike some schools, Queen's does not require specific prerequisite courses, does not give preferences to any particular degree program, and does not require that students carry a full course load during their studies. The minimum GPA required is a 3.0, though the average GPA for admitted students is much higher at a 3.76, with a range between 3.03 and 4.0. The MCAT minimum is a total score of 500, with at least 125 in each section, though the average for admitted students was a 514. In addition, applicants must take the Casper test, which is scored on a threshold basis that is not disclosed to applicants and changes annually. Queen's also places emphasis on non-academic qualities. Applicants are assessed through an OMSAS autobiographical sketch, reference letters, and interviews, which together provide a view on who they are. Once applicants meet the minimum academic and Casper threshold, they are entered into the Qualified Applicant Randomization Selection process, which determines who is invited to the multiple mini-interview stage. This process introduces a randomization element to ensure fairness, since far more applicants meet the threshold than Queen's can realistically interview. The multiple mini-interview, or MMI, is conducted virtually and is designed to evaluate qualities like empathy, critical thinking, communication skills, and ethical decision-making. From there, a selected group of applicants may also be invited to a panel interview, during which their application file is reviewed in more depth alongside with their interview performance. Invitations typically go out between December and January. MMIs are held in January, and panel interviews take place in February and March. Preparing for these interviews is essential. A good strategy is to familiarize yourself with an interview format, then practice independently by recording yourself and reviewing your responses. Once you feel more confident, ask peers, mentors, or medical professionals to run a mock interview with you. Finally, make use of online question banks to sharpen your skills. Interviews can be nerve-wracking, but with constant preparation, you can walk into them with confidence. Now let's talk about tuition. For the 2023-2024 academic year, tuition for Queen's MD program is assessed on a pre-term basis at $11,756.70 per term, which totals $23,513.40 per year. Alongside with other fees, the total yearly cost for a first-year MD student is approximately $25,276.73. The Queen's MD program is a 4-year degree structured to transition students from foundational science to hands-on clinical practice. The first 2 years form a pre-clerkship phase, where students learn core biomedical science, clinical skills, communication, and physician roles through lectures, small group work, labs, simulation sessions, and clinical placements. Courses cover everything from human structure and function to critical appraisal of research, population health, pediatrics, genetics, neurosciences, and more. At the end of first year, students participate in Community Week, where they spend time working alongside healthcare professionals in regional Ontario communities. The final 2 years make up of the clerkship phase, which immerses students in hospital and community settings across Ontario. Clinical rotations span medicine, surgery, pediatrics, psychiatry, obstetrics and gynecology, family medicine, and more. Beginning in 2025, clerkship will follow a new model that includes block rotations across multiple specialties, dedicated electives, curricular units, and capstone transition to residency periods to prepare students for postgraduate training. One unique feature of Queen's curriculum is its integration of Indigenous health across all 4 years, in response to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's call to action. Rather than a single standalone course, Indigenous health topics are woven throughout pre-clerkship and clerkship, ensuring that students develop cultural humility and deeper understanding of Indigenous healthcare needs.
We're focusing on the University of British Columbia's MD program. UBC's Faculty of Medicine offers Canada's geographically largest program, distinguished by its innovative distributed learning model that spans the entire province of British Columbia. UBC's MD program emphasizes a patient-centered curriculum that integrates scientific inquiry with clinical practice. The University of British Columbia's MD program is delivered across 4 distinct sites. The Vancouver Fraser Medical Program, based at UBC's Vancouver campus, is the largest site, offering clinical education through discipline-based rotations at various hospitals. The Southern Medical Program, located at UBC Okanagan in Kelowna, provides learners with clinical training experiences in numerous communities throughout the interior health region. The Island Medical Program, situated at the University of Victoria, allows students to gain clinical experiences across the capital of British Columbia and Vancouver Island. The Northern Medical Program, hosted by the University of Northern British Columbia in Prince George, focuses on training physicians from and for northern and rural communities. Now that you have a better picture of the University of British Columbia and its MD program, let's dive deeper into their admission stats. With 2,815 applicants, UBC accepted 10.9% of them, or 306 students in 2022 to 2023, which is still an increase from the previous 2 cycles, both accepting 288 students. UBC has a preference for in-province students. Of the 306 accepted students, 90.2% were in province, while the other 9.8 were out of province. Among the 2023 first-year MD students, about 27.8% of students have a postgraduate degree, 20.9% have a non-degree and 3-year bachelor's, and approximately 51.3% of students have a 4-year bachelor's. Numbers aside, someone's getting in. Why not you? Let's dive into what it takes to make that 10.9%. At the University of British Columbia, you cannot enter the MD program straight out of high school. You must complete at least 90 university transferable credits from a recognized post-secondary institution by April 30th of the year of entry. It is also important to note that UBC isn't admitting international students. You can apply as early as your 3rd or 4th year of undergraduate studies, depending on how quickly you complete the required coursework. Like most medical schools, you'll need to show proficiency in biology, chemistry, and biochemistry. Unlike most medical schools though, UBC also requires 6 English credits, specifically 2 literature classes, or 1 literature class and 1 composition class. Academically, your GPA plays a huge role. UBC factors in grades on the 100 scale, based on your numerical grades and not your letter grades. While the minimum GPA for eligibility is 70%, competitive applicants generally have a much higher score. If you're a BC resident and you have an overall GPA below 75%, or an out-of-province applicant with an OGPA below 85%, your application will not move forward to full file review. Basically, UBC won't even consider your non-academic components if you don't meet those GPA thresholds, so it's key to keep them up. For reference, the average OGPA for accepted applicants in the 2023 cycle was 89.63%. Moving on to the MCAT, UBC requires a minimum score of 496 to be eligible. That being said, the average score for accepted applicants was 514 in the 2023 cycle, and there are no minimum subsection scores. Moving on to non-academic requirements, UBC puts strong emphasis on personal qualities like leadership, communication skills, community involvement, and commitment to the field of medicine, which is assessed through your non-academic qualities section. This section has significant weight as UBC wants their future students to be as diverse as the communities they'll end up serving. Your NAQ score is based on 5 categories: leadership, service ethic, capacity to work with others, diversity of experience, and high performance in an area of human endeavor. Evaluators especially like to see applicants who have higher responsibilities, along with long-standing commitments that reflect a genuine concern for others. Important to note that physician shadowing, although sounds great to have on application, doesn't affect your NAQ score. Your NAQ is determined based on a report of non-academic experiences, employment history, research, awards, and if you're invited for one, your interview. Although all these requirements may seem overwhelming, it's important to not let that discourage you. The last step of the UBC MD admissions process is the interview stage. UBC typically invites a select number of applicants to participate in interviews based on the strength of their academic and non-academic files. In the 2023 cycle, 13.1% of applicants were given an interview. Interview invitations and rejection notices are sent out on a rolling basis until the final interview date. For the 2024-2025 cycle, UBC uses the multiple mini interview or MMI format, which is done virtually through the Kira Talent platform. The MMI includes a series of timed interview stations designed to evaluate qualities like ethical reasoning, communication, empathy, and decision making. There are about 11 different stations. Each station you're given 2 minutes to read the question and another 7 minutes to answer. When it comes to prepping for UBC's virtual MMI, it really helps to set up a quiet space where you can think clearly and feel comfortable speaking out loud. The MMI is fast-paced and designed to see how you think on the spot, so it's a good idea to get used to answering questions under time restraints. This isn't to say speak faster, it's more about how you get to your point across without rambling. Some students even suggest that during your answering period, it's okay to take a quick pause and collect your thoughts, as it shows self-awareness. Practice with common MMI scenarios, time yourself, and focus on being clear and honest in your responses. Think back to your own experiences, volunteering, work, or tough situations you've been through, and use those stories to your advantage. Really show the interviewer how you're able to communicate and connect with others. At the end of the day, the interview isn't about being perfect, because there is no perfect answer that the interviewer is looking for. Let's switch over to the cost of tuition now. Tuition fees can vary slightly year to year, but for the 2024-2025 cycle, tuition for domestic students is approximately $19,995 per year, plus $1,853 on textbooks across 4 years. Other than school expenses such as housing, food, transportation, and etc., those range from $17,000 to $20,000. Now that we've covered tuition, let's take a look at how UBC's MD program unfolds. It's crafted to shape physicians who embody the roles of medical expert, communicator, collaborator, leader, health advocate, scholar, and professional, aligned with the UBC MD exit competencies, preparing graduates to serve diverse communities across British Columbia. In the first 2 years, the Foundations of Medical Practice courses consist of MEDD 411, 412, in Year 1 and MEDD 421, 422 in Year 2. These early courses follow weekly clinical case presentations that integrate biomedical science, ethics, communication, labs, small group discussions, and a simulated and real clinical experience. Year 2 culminates in a transition into clinical education, aka TICE, a phase to help students prepare for clinical responsibilities in Year 3. During years 3 and 4, known as clerkship, you enter clinical environments aligned with the Vancouver, Fraser, Northern, Island, or Southern regional sites across the province. You rotate through core disciplines such as internal medicine, surgery, pediatrics, psychiatry, family medicine, and emergency, including rural and community placements, to ensure broad exposure to many forms of medicine. Wrapped into multiple phases of the curriculum is flexible enhanced learning, also known as FLEX. Starting in MEDD 419 in Year 1, continuing through MEDD 429 in Year 2, and culminating in MEDD 449 in Year 4, FLEX gives you a structured time to pursue scholarly projects, research, or community engagement, helping you build skills in innovation, self-directed learning, and critical thinking. which offers significant time in the curriculum for students to develop and explore their own identified learning projects and goals and objectives. Assessment at UBC's MD program is based on a percentage and a pass-fail system. Foundational and clerkship courses are graded accordingly using the percentage system, and flex assessments require passing each component independently. This should give you a clear, comprehensive overview of how UBC's MD program is structured, from foundational learning to clinical practice and scholarly exploration. For more details, check out their official website regarding their MD program. We hope this video gave you a clearer understanding of the University of British Columbia's MD program, from its unique campus model to its focus on community-centered healthcare and academic excellence.
We're taking a closer look at the University of Calgary's MD program, offered through the Cummings School of Medicine. This is a fully accredited Canadian medical school and one of the only 2 institutions in the country offering a 3-year MD program. The school's accelerated format is built for students who are motivated, self-directed, and ready to jump into medicine without delay. Calgary's curriculum, known as Reimagining Medical Education, or RIME, is designed to be dynamic, responsive, and student-centered. Let's explore what makes this program unique and what it takes to get in. During the 2023-2024 admission cycle, the Cummings School of Medicine received a total of 1,930 applications. A significant portion of the applicants, 1,490 to be exact, were Alberta residents, while 440 applicants came from outside of the province. From this pool, 664 applicants were invited to interview. Students must complete a minimum of 2 years of undergrad with a full course load. The class of 2027 gives us a good idea of the typical student profile. Approximately 28.7% of students in that class held a graduate degree prior to admission, while full data on 3-year versus 4-year degrees isn't available. Earlier cohorts indicate that around 6.2% of students were admitted without a completed undergraduate degree. In terms of academic performance, the average GPA among students offered admission was a 3.9 for Alberta applicants and a 3.89 for non-Albertan applicants. Looking at MCAT scores, specifically the CARS section, the average for Alberta students who received offers was a 127.56, while the average for non-Albertans was a 126.24. To apply to the Cummings School of Medicine, you must have completed a minimum of 2 full-time years of post-secondary education at an institution that grants MD or PhD degrees, or at a school whose credits are transferable to one. The University of Calgary calculates GPA using all full-time undergraduate years. However, if you have completed your undergraduate degree by the time of the matriculation, your lowest GPA year can be removed from the calculation, provided that year including at least 18 graded units. If you've completed a graduate degree, your GPA from that program may be incorporated into your undergraduate GPA calculation. For course-based graduate degrees, the GPA may count as 1 full-time year if it includes at least 18 graded credits. Specific GPA minimums are required depending on your residency status. Alberta applicants must have a minimum GPA of a 3.2. Non-Alberta applicants, however, must have a GPA of at least a 3.8 to be eligible for consideration. For Alberta residents, there is no minimum MCAT score. For Albertans, however, you must achieve a score of at least a 128 on the CARS, Critical Analysis and Reasoning Skills section, to be eligible for admission. Your score must be available by the application deadline, which typically falls around October 1st. Non-academic components are also an essential part of application process. Applicants must provide the names and contact information of 3 references. These references are used to evaluate different qualities: organizational and leadership skills, commitment to community and advocacy, and interpersonal behavior and teamwork. You'll also be asked to submit a written essay of up to 700 words that reflect on your experiences and the journey that has shaped your desire to pursue medicine. Additionally, you may identify up to 10 significant experiences or activities that help define who you are. These could include employment, volunteer work, awards, education, or personal milestones. For each experience, you'll require a list of verifiers who can confirm the activity's nature and timeline. All applicants must also complete an Indigenous education requirement prior to the October 1st deadline. Applicants who advance past the initial screening are invited to attend an in-person interview. The most recent cycle, 664 applicants were interviewed. For those applying for the upcoming 2025-2026 cycle, interviews are expected to be conducted in March, with tentative dates scheduled for March 7th, 8th, 14th, and 15th of 2026. The Cummings School of Medicine uses the Multiple Mini-Interview Format, MMI. This format consists of 8 short interview stations, each designed to evaluate different attributes essential for success in medicine. These include compassion, empathy, honesty, ethical decision-making, time management, teamwork, and the ability to tolerate stress. The MMI is less about medical knowledge and more about your personal values and soft skills. To prepare, you should become familiar with the MMI format, reflect on your personal experiences, and practice your communication skills. Recording yourself and getting better feedback from others can also be a valuable way to improve. As for tuition, the most recently published estimate for the University of Calgary's MD program is $25,244 per year. Books and supplies are expected to cost approximately $6,536 for the year. Additional costs includes a $30 membership fee for the Alberta Medical Association, $75 for the Canadian Federation of Medical Students, $395 for the Calgary Medical Students Association, and a $200 registration fee for the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Alberta. The school emphasizes financial accessibility and offers a wide range of financial aid options. These include scholarships, bursaries, and financial literacy options. One-on-one financial advising is also available. In addition, the Association of Faculties of Medicine of Canada offers MCAT fee assistance to Canadian examinees who qualify. The MD program at the University of Calgary spans just 3 years, making it one of the fastest pathways to become a physician in Canada. It is designed for students who are ready to take on rigorous, self-directed, and accelerated medical education. Pre-clerkship follows a unique curriculum called Reimagining Medical Education, or RIME. This approach is rooted in a case-based learning and emphasizes a spiral delivery of clinical presentations, meaning students revisit key topics throughout the program with increasing complexity. The curriculum promotes generalism, patient-centered care, and a strong understanding of social determinants of health. The clerkship portion of the program begins after pre-clerkship and includes a wide range of clinical rotations. These include internal medicine, surgery, family medicine, pediatrics, psychiatry, gynecology, emergency medicine, anesthesia, electives, and comprehensive clinical skills training. Students are expected to complete between 8 and 16 weeks of their clinical experience in locations outside of Calgary. One of the program's standout features is the Longitudinal Integrated Clerkship, or the uCLIC. This immersive rural training opportunity allows third-year medical students to live and work in smaller communities for extended periods. It's ideal for those who are interested in generalism and underserved populations. While the grading system is not explicitly detailed in the public sources, most Canadian medical schools use credit/no credit or pass-or-fail systems. We'll kick things off with the University of Toronto's MD program. U of T has continuously been named Canada's #1 university for graduate employability by a diverse range of recruiters from various industries, thanks to the university's overall capacity to educate students for evolving healthcare industry, while also still providing a globally recognized curriculum. The University of Toronto's MD program teaches students scientific methods for studying living matter, health, medicine, and illness. This education helps students comprehend and analyze the behaviors of humans and other organisms, while also still educating them to confront ethical, social, and political challenges associated with healthcare. The University of Toronto's MD program has 2 different campuses, St. George in downtown Toronto and Mississauga. Students are sent to one of these campuses after they are accepted into the MD program. Now that you have a better picture of the University of Toronto and its MD program, let's dive deeper into their admission stats. In the 2023-2024 admission cycle, 4,290 applicants applied for the U of T's MD program, and 640 were invited to interview. Overall, there were about 291 students who got accepted in the 2023-2024 cycle. Now, you may ask, what type of degree did these 2024 first-year MD students study before applying? Among the 2024 first-year MD students, about 17% of students have a postgraduate degree. 23% have a non-degree and a 3-year bachelor's, and approximately 60% of students have a 4-year bachelor's. Even though these percentages seem scarily low, this video will help you learn more about the U of T's MD program, and you might just be a part of that 7% of accepted applicants. At the University of Toronto, you cannot enroll in an MD program straight out of high school. You must have some prior experience at a university in Canada to pursue a degree. You can submit your application as early as the start of your 3rd year based on your educational background. There are various academic requirements such as a high GPA and MCAT score, as well as non-academic requirements such as essays, references, and autobiographical sketch, ABS. You must also take certain prerequisite courses. As for your GPA, the cutoff range for undergraduate applicants is a 3.6, and for graduate applicants it's a 3.3, regardless of whether you're from Canada or not. The average accepted GPA is a 3.95, but don't get unmotivated if yours is slightly under, as many applicants get admitted with a below average GPA. For your MCAT score, each area must have a threshold score of 125 with an allowance of 124 in one section. Your non-academic requirements, being your personal essays, references, and ABS, are used to assess your non-academic qualifications. The reason why they are important is that their goal is to choose students who they think will become the most skilled and responsive physicians. You must submit 2 brief personal essays of 250 words, each answering specific personal questions that change every admission cycle. The ABS is a list of your activities and achievements since the age of 16, which provides insight into who you are, and there are no requirements for any hours or activities. Finally, for your prerequisite courses, you must successfully complete 2 full course equivalents in any life science, and 1 full course equivalent in any of the social sciences, languages, and humanities. For those who don't know what a full course equivalent is, 1 FCE of a particular subject is equal to 2 semesters. Although these requirements seem like a lot, it's always possible to achieve them, so don't be discouraged. The last round of admissions process is the interview stage. U of T admissions will invite about 700 applicants for an interview for admission. You may ask, what is this interviewee selection process? Well, file reviews, which are reviews of your academic and non-academic admission requirements. They are used to choose your interview subjects. Interview dates are chosen at random once file reviews are finished. You will receive a letter of rejection if you are not chosen for an interview. As the files are being viewed, invitations to interviews and letters of rejection are sent out until the final interview date. The format of the U of T's interview process for the 2024-2025 cycle is the MPI format and takes place virtually. The MPI consists of 4 independent interviews assessed by 4 different interviewers, and each interview response is 5 minutes in length. Some tips and tricks to help you with your interview are to get familiar with the type of interview, whether it's a panel interview, MPI, or MMI. Once you are comfortable with the interview style, practice on your own by recording yourself and re-watching it over and over again to find mistakes. When you feel more confident after practicing on your own, try asking someone with experience, such as people who have already gotten into med school or a family member in the medical field, to help you practice the interview style one-on-one. Lastly, research some question banks with answers and go over those on your own, and again with someone who is experienced. Interviews can be stressful, but with these tips and tricks, you'll be feeling confident and ready. After discussing some of the academic criteria, let's take a brief look at the cost of tuition. Tuition costs vary depending on your application type, and fees are subject to change. The tuition fees for Ontario residents are $23,090 per year, $27,510 for non-Ontario residents, and $97,350 for international students. You may also expect to spend $1,000 for books and equipment, as well as around $17,500 for living expenses such as food, residence on campus, and other expenses. Now that the tuition costs are out of the way, let's break down the program for a better understanding. First, let's dive into the educational goals and competency framework. The goal of the MD program is to prepare graduates. The goals are to become medical experts, communicators, collaborators, leaders, health advocates, scholars, and professionals. Next up in the program breakdown is the foundation curriculum. In order to prepare students for the workplace learning that takes place during foundations, the first 2 years of the MD program, known as foundations, are held in laboratory, classroom, clinical, and community settings. Early clinical exposure is a key component, allowing students to apply theoretical knowledge in the real-world settings. Regular assessments provide feedback to support continuous improvement and self-directed learning. Every week of foundations, which lasts 72 weeks, includes specific goals and tests to direct students' study and help them to develop the essential skills and enabling skills for the MD program. The last 2 years of the MD program are devoted to clerkship. Clerkship is a comprehensive educational experience that helps you to advance the professional attitudes, abilities, and information you learn in foundations while learning how to effectively, efficiently, and humanely take care of your patients. This is accomplished through hands-on application in clinical settings. As a clerk, you gain expertise in patient care in hospitals, community clinics, and physician offices. U of T is affiliated with many reputable hospitals such as Mount Sinai, Sick Kids, and St. Michael's Hospital. Elective rotations allow students to explore subspecialties and align their experiences with career interests. Lastly is the grading system. Every course taken during the 4 years of the U of T's MD program is transcribed as credit or no credit, often known as pass or fail. Depending on the course's procedures, each assessment component may receive a numerical score that may or may not be communicated to the student. Hopefully you feel more prepared knowing how the program goes down. We hope that you now have a better understanding of how to apply to the MD program at U of T. The school has generated a large number of medical professionals and established a reputation as one of Canada's top MD schools because of its active population of learners and great research opportunities. We'll be looking at University of Ottawa's MD program. UOttawa has a unique distinction. It was the first medical school in North America to offer its MD program in both English and French. This bilingual training not only reflects Canada's culture but also prepares graduates to serve diverse patient populations across the country. Students learn not just the science of medicine but also the human side of communication, collaboration, and advocacy. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear picture of what it takes to get in, what the program looks like, and whether Ottawa might be the right choice for you. Let's start with the numbers. In the 2025 admission cycle, 5,664 applicants applied to the Ottawa's MD program. Out of those, 605 were invited to interview, and in the end, about 187 students were admitted. That works out to an acceptance rate of about 3.3%. On average, 184 new students enrolled each year, with about 128 in the English stream and 56 in the French stream. At the University of Ottawa, you'll need to have at least 3 years of full-time undergraduate study at a recognized university. You can apply as early as your third year, provided you've completed 2 full years already. Grades are critical. The minimum cumulative GPA is a 3.5 on a 4.0 scale, but in reality, you'll need a much higher to be competitive. A 3.85 GPA or above is considered strong. GPA is calculated based on your most recent 3 years of full-time study. Unlike most Canadian medical schools, the MCAT is not required at Ottawa. This makes the GPA, prerequisites, and non-academic components even more important. One of those components is your autobiographical sketch, ABS. This is where you highlight your activities and achievements since age of 16. You can list up to 18 entries total with 3 per category. You'll describe what you did, why you did it, and what you learned. Admission committees review the entire ABS, not just the top activities, so be thoughtful about what you include. References are also required. You'll need 3 referees, 1 academic or employment related, 1 non-academic, and 1 of your choice. They'll complete a confidential assessment form rating your suitability for medicine. Finally, you must complete certain prerequisite courses with at least a 3.0 on a 4.0 scale. These include 6 units of humanities or social sciences, not including language courses, 6 units of biology, anatomy and physiology are accepted, 3 units of organic chemistry, 3 units of general chemistry, 3 units of biochemistry, and 3 units of statistics. You must also complete lab work in at least 2 of the science courses, or take a full 6-year lab course. At Ottawa, 3 units equals 1 semester course, and 6 units equals either 2 semesters or a full year course. It sounds like a lot, but with planning it's achievable, so don't be discouraged. If you clear the file review stage, you'll move on to the interview. For 2025, 605 applicants were invited. The interview is semi-structured and lasts about 40 minutes. You'll meet with a panel made up of 2 admission committee members, who may be faculty or community members, plus a 4th-year medical student. Starting in 2026, interviews will be held virtually, so be prepared for an online setup. To prepare, practice is key. Record yourself answering common questions and look for habits you can improve. Then ask a mentor, current medical student, or even a family member in healthcare to run through mock interviews with you. Reviewing question banks can also give you practice material. Interviews are stressful, but preparation can build confidence. The more you rehearse, the more natural your answers will feel. Now let's talk about tuition. At Ottawa, the cost varies slightly depending on your progress in the program. For most of the degree, tuition is about $12,743 per term. As you advance, it decreases gradually to about $12,382 per term in the later stages. That means annual tuition is typically around $25,000 to $26,900 for MD students. On top of tuition, there's a $135 application fee and a $1,000 deposit required when you accept your offer. Both are applied towards tuition. The MD program at Ottawa has 2 main phases, pre-clerkship and clerkship. Pre-clerkship covers the first 2 years. It includes 64 weeks of study across 6 multidisciplinary units, covering biomedical and psychosocial principles. Classes are usually scheduled between 8 a.m. and 12:30 p.m., Monday to Friday, with clinical skills sessions 1 or 2 afternoons each week. The workload is capped at about 29.5 hours per week, giving students time for self-study. Clerkship makes up for the final 2 years. This phase is hands-on in clinical settings. Students rotate through internal medicine, surgery, pediatrics, obstetrics, gynecology, psychiatry, family medicine, and acute care. In 4th year, there are 18 weeks of electives, plus a mandatory 1-month rural rotation. Clinical hours can reach 55 hours per week, not including call shifts. Ottawa students benefit from strong hospital partnerships. The program is affiliated with the Ottawa Hospital and the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario, giving learners exposure to a wide range of patients and specialties. Finally, let's talk about grading. The passing grade in all courses is a 60%. During clerkship, rotations are graded pass or fail, but students must achieve a 60% on written exams. This system keeps the focus on competence, not competition. We're excited to be talking about the Schulich School of Medicine and Dentistry at Western University. Located in London, Ontario, Schulich is recognized for its commitment to academic excellence, community engagement, and clinical innovation. The MD program at Schulich prepares students to become thoughtful, compassionate, and highly capable physicians, all while emphasizing leadership, collaboration, and social accountability. Let's get started by taking a look at the admission stats. For the 2023-2024 admission cycle, Western University's Schulich School of Medicine received a significant number of applications. While the school doesn't publish detailed breakdowns like the exact number of applicants or interviewees, we do know that around 291 students are typically admitted each year. So what kind of academic backgrounds do Schulich students come from? Among the 2024 incoming class, approximately 17% held a postgraduate degree, about 23% had either a non-degree or a 3-year bachelor's degree, and around 60% completed a 4-year bachelor degree. While the numbers might seem intimidating, keep in mind that Schulich takes a holistic approach to admissions, so it's not just about numbers. With the right preparation and passion, you could be a part of that small percentage who gets accepted. To apply to Schulich's MD program, you must be in at least your 3rd year of an undergraduate degree program at a recognized university. Schulich emphasizes academic excellence, but they also place a huge emphasis on diversity and personal experiences, so there are no preferred majors or prerequisite courses. And students come from many different backgrounds ranging from philosophy and economics to nursing, music, and engineering. In terms of academics, applicants must have a minimum GPA of 3.70, which is calculated using your 2 best undergraduate years. Each of those years must include at least 5 full courses, so 30 credit hours, and at least 3 of those courses must be at or above your year of study. Only 1 full course per year can be taken as a pass or fail basis. As for the MCAT, scores are evaluated based on the competitiveness of the application cycle. For the 2024-2025 admissions year, applicants applying through one of the Schulich's pathways, such as Black, Indigenous, MMTP, or Access pathways, must achieve a minimum score of 125 in each of the 4 sections. Applicants not applying through a pathway must achieve a 127 in BBFLS, CPBS, and CARS, and 126 in PSBB. MCATs must be written within 5 years of the OMSAS deadline, and only your most recent score is considered. But academics are only one piece of the puzzle. Schulich also looks carefully at the non-academic attributes. That's where the Western Autobiographical Sketch, or ABS, comes in. Completed through the Cura Talent platform, this sketch includes both written and video responses and gives you a chance to highlight your life experiences, community involvement, and values that align with the Schulich's mission. You'll also need to submit 3 references, 1 academic or employment related, 1 personal or non-academic, and a third of your choice. References should be people who you know well but not family members or friends. And finally, to be eligible, applicants must be Canadian citizens or permanent residents. Schulich also reserves the right to access English language proficiency and requires all applicants to demonstrate the essential skills and abilities needed to succeed in the MD program and in supervised residency training. If your file makes it through the academic and non-academic review stages, you may be invited for an interview. These invitations typically go out in late January or early February. The interviews themselves are conducted virtually and usually take place in late February and early March. Schulich uses a structured interview format where each applicant meets with a 3-person panel made up of a physician, a current medical student, and a community member. These interviews are designed to assess your communication skills, ethical reasoning, and alignment with the values of the medical profession. Decisions are communicated in early May. If you're accepted, congratulations! If you're waitlisted, the Schulich admissions team begins contacting students on the waitlist starting in early June. And if you don't receive an offer, you can request a review on the decision within 2 weeks if you have new or significant information to share. Let's talk about finances. Schulich understands that med school is expensive, but they also work hard to support students financially. While exact tuition costs can change year to year, historical data suggests that Ontario residents can expect to pay approximately $25,000 to $30,000 per year. Costs are slightly higher for out-of-province students, and international applicants are not accepted. In addition to tuition, living expenses like rent, food, transportation, books, and personal costs are estimated at around $17,000 to $20,000 per year. But here's the good news. Schulich provides over $5.1 million in scholarships and bursaries specifically for medical students. The Schulich Medical Scholarship is a standout opportunity offering $33,600 per year for 4 years, with a total value of $134,400. And don't forget OSAP, which offers a combination of loans and grants to eligible students. Schulich's MD program is a 4-year journey that starts with a strong foundation and leads to hands-on clinical training. The first 2 years are known as the foundations phase. During this time, students build core competencies through case-based learning, small group sessions, clinical exposure, and lectures. Courses like Foundations of Medicine and Principles of Medicine help students develop critical thinking, clinical decision-making, and communication skills. Right from year 1, students begin working on clinical skills and professionalism modules, while also gaining early patient contact through longitudinal clinical experience. Year 1 ends with a Rural and Regional Discovery Week where students spend time in rural communities across southwestern Ontario to better understand healthcare access and delivery in non-urban settings. Year 3 is where clerkship begins. This 52-week clinical rotation takes students into real hospitals and clinics in communities throughout the region. Students work closely with healthcare teams in areas such as family medicine, surgery, psychiatry, emergency medicine, pediatrics, and more. Through Western's distributed medical education model, students get hands-on experience across more than 45 communities, from large academic centers to smaller rural clinics. In Year 4, students complete clinical electives and then return for the transition to MD course, which prepares them for the next step, residency. This course focuses on integrating everything they've learned and meeting the Medical Council of Canada's Entrustable Professional Acts, or EPAs. We hope you now have a better understanding of the MD program at Western University's Schulich School of Medicine and Dentistry. Whether you're just starting your pre-med journey or preparing your OMSAS application, Schulich offers a student-centered, community-focused education that can take you anywhere from rural clinics to urban hospitals, or even to the front lines of medical innovation. The Pump team wishes you the best of luck with your medical school applications. If this video was helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.